Parts, 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 parts. Yep, we finally have parts, and what I like to do always is get the controls sorted out to make it as comfortable as possible, and this bike is no different. So we have bars, we have risers, or clamps I should say, grips, throttle tube, and some hand guards. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that we're going to work with here. Now normally I have a type, as you can clearly see. We have the exact same bars on everything else, and this is more or less the same, but I decided to try something different. So here we have something from Turner Performance Products. Have not heard of them, but then I found out it's just motorsport.com's in-house brand, kind of like Tusk is with Rocky Mountain, and they had a sale where there was a kit with this, the oversized bars and the clamps, and it was a reasonable price, so I figured, why not? And it had a CR high bend, which is my preferred bend. So I figured, what's the difference if we just have a different name stamped on the metal? So we're gonna try those. Speaking of in-house brands, I also have from Rocky Mountain. They had a really good deal on an aluminum throttle tube, so I got this. It has a bearing inside, so it should smooth out any slop in the stock throttle tube, so that's gonna be cool. And then, of course, since we're going to be cutting up the grips there, we got some new ones. These are just regular Pro Taper MX grips. I don't know, they were just whatever was on sale. And then we have some hand guards. I know that for the 2021, 2022s, they do come with factory hand guards right here. And they look great, but there's a couple things that I don't like about them. First of all, and most importantly, they're not supported. They're just connected to the clutch and the brake perch right here. There's no aluminum bar to keep it in place, so there's still that possibility if I drop the bike, the levers are gonna get snapped, this is gonna get snapped. I prefer the full wraparound hand guards. And second, I do tend to have a preference when I'm setting up the bars that my clutch lever is typically lower than my brake lever. It's just an odd preference that I've kind of found that I prefer. And because these are attached at the perch, it's gonna tilt with however I want the levers to tilt. And so if one is gonna be lower than the other, it's gonna be off, it's gonna look like it's broken. And I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's just one of those things that's gonna bug me. So for those reasons, these two are gone. But, if you have a 2019 or a 2020 and you want these, let me know. I'll give them to you. Put the bars back on temporarily. Had to put something in here just to keep it from spinning so I can get this bottom nut cracked. Basically just have to unthread this. All this will just pop off as one piece, and then I can slot in the new ones right here. Well, that was interesting. I already have my first broken bolt. So the clutch perch bolt snapped clean off. Not sure what happened there. Pretty much instantly snapped off. So thankfully I was able to get it out. And I guess I was going to replace it anyway, because with these plastic guards, they have these big, thick spacers like this guy right here, so that's all the way down and it's torqued, but you know, it just kind of sticks up a little bit. So shouldn't be an issue. There's plenty of bolts I have laying around that'll fit that, so we should be good there. How in the heck do I get this thing off? It's completely, I thought it just kind of sandwiched over like a U-clamp or something like that, but it's actually a whole piece. And it doesn't quite fit through there with the clutch perch. So I think I actually have to disconnect the wiring and the clutch cable to get this thing out. It's a little annoying, but whatever. Oh, yeah, right. Not taking that clutch lever apart. Just decided to go ahead and cut it. Said screw it. It still works fine. Free if you want it. Anyway, it seems to be the case of if it's one thing, then it will be another. So I don't actually have another bolt for this thing that has the right spacer and things like that. So have to order a new bolt. Yay. Gonna have to take care of that later. But I figured I'd just keep going, get the handguards mounted and everything like that. And then I noticed another thing with this throttle tube. It's closed off at the end here. Turns out there is a bearing right there, and checked the description on the website, and I should have read this before I bought it, but it says does not work with wraparound handguards. So this is not gonna work for what I want. Gonna have to return this. So then with that, I have the stock throttle tube here. Now this has been modified, so it actually, from the factory, has a narrow end here, narrow diameter, so it actually kind of wraps around to the outside of the bar, but it needs to be able to clear these, so I basically just drilled this straight through, sanded it up, cleaned it up so it's nice and flush, and then we can keep going with the handguards. So I have that one all mounted up, and this one's ready to go. It's loosely fitted right here, so basically it's got this grippy stuff here, so that's going to expand when I tighten it inside the bar, and then it's going to be there for good. Now this does line up inside here, so I want to make sure that it's perfectly lined up the way I want it before I clamp this down. So we're gonna loosely fit it into the bar and get it on the bike and make sure that it's in line with this one too. Obviously we'll put everything back together to make that happen. But now that the throttle tube is nice and cleaned out, we can put this back on the bar and keep going with this. Well, at least the handguard installation is going smoothly. Put it up on the center stand here so I can look at it level and make sure that both sides are looking good. With that, it's ready to go. Almost ready to ride, except for this stupid bolt. But we need to put the grips on, so I'm gonna get everything else kind of tightened up here. This is all still loosely fitted, so I can rotate it to my preference on both sides. Then we could put the grips on, and I guess that's all we're gonna do for tonight until we get a bolt. But otherwise, looks pretty nice, not bad. I think this kit, the bars and the clamps, both combined were like 80 bucks or something like that. Not bad at all. Clutch side done, grip is on, throttle side mostly on, but we do have to cut this because obviously the handguards connect into the bars right here. Now a lot of people will cut it on the edge right here, just to kind of along this lip. I always like to go on the inside, so I kind of take a small X-Acto and just go around the inside of this, and then, you know, just kind of pull it out from there. That way we kind of keep this. Worst case scenario, if I mess this up, I can always cut more. And I think it just looks cleaner. It's a little thing, but, and then we'll get this all the way on because there is a little bit of a gap there. But, you know, there's a lot of methods to get this on. A lot of people use hairspray or any other kind of like grip tape or grip glue. I don't. I use the air compressor. I find it really easy to get on there most of the way by just kind of wedging it in here and then pushing. It slides really fast if you have enough pressure. And then from here, once this is cut, we'll open this up, get the air compressor hose in there just a little bit, and then basically just kind of pulse it, and it fills this up, and then as you're holding it, it'll slide right to the edge. Every time. It makes it so much easier. So let's do that, and then we'll get this wrapped up. All right, we're pretty much done. Guards are on, grips are on. This is the bar pad it came with, but I don't think I'm gonna keep this. While it does fit, it's kind of bulky. I don't think it's strictly necessary, and I want to put my phone mount around here, so this takes up a lot of real estate. So we're gonna get that off. And speaking of phone mounts, I have a RAM mount, and you can see here I have a RAM ball. So on the other bike, I have this mirror, which is basically using RAM mounts and clamps in here, and it's really nice. It's flexible. It's, you know, you can adjust it infinitely and even tuck it away underneath if you so choose. If you're off-road, you can buy kits like this with the 3 pieces for like 50 bucks, but I actually have a bunch of RAM mounts kind of laying around, so I think I can cobble together one. I just had to get the ball for this specific one, so it was like $9, but I have a spare mirror as well. And then I'm gonna get this RAM mount, phone mount transferred from the old bike to the new one, pretty much in the exact same spot. I like it as centered as possible, so we'll finish it off with that stuff. There we have it. I think we are done. Looks nice, looks clean. Got the RAM mount for the phone, got the RAM mount for the mirror, so this can be folded away, tucked in here easily. And I think everything looks pretty good. The only thing, obviously, is to fix this stupid bolt. So just gonna have to wait until that comes in before I can ride this, but everything else is done. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm glad I got these guards. They're a lot more kind of angular and fit the styling better here, I think. I was gonna go with these ones, the good old Enduro Engineering, but you know, they're kind of more of a classic style and, you know, fit the DRZ just a little bit more in that it's kind of old school. This one, you know, it's a lot more angular, it's a lot more streamlined in the front, so I think that kind of complements it, especially with the red and black. That's such a nice combo here. I think it looks fantastic, and can't wait to get out and feel the bars and make sure that everything's nice and comfortable. Might have to make some minor tweaks to it, you know, shifting the bars back and forth a little bit, maybe messing with the levers just a little bit once we actually get on the bike, but other than that, it's ready to roll. Well, kind of. Thanks for watching.